Hello, 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 hello. We are home. Yes. Where's everybody at? Yes. We are home, we are home, we are home. Binto Bantaba Network. Where my family at? Mwah. Love y'all. Come on, join me, join me, join me. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a wonderful day. Yes. Yes. Yes, Kasama, you are in. Kasama, you are in. Yes, you are welcome. Janneh. You are in, you are in. Yes. Okay. Alnimbara. Alnimbara. Alnana, alnana, alla telefono dadia. Bekachadi mabaso tolandi Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh. Gunjur. From Gunjur. Yes, ndajala no video because we have a connection issue with him. I will connect him, but I cannot hear his audio. So this is what we're gonna do. We will call him on the phone, right? Can we do it that way? We have to have different ways. Al-Nimbara, Al-Nimbara, Al-Nimbara. Yes, Al-Nimbara. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Allah Baraka. We have important conversation to have with the doctor today. I mean it. Issues at hand. Issues at hand. So I'm about to call him and you listen. Listen in detail. Okay? Thank you, Jalini Mbarak. Alnana. Into Bantaba Network, na community le. We the poor, we the rich. We the Kombonkas, we are everywhere. Kombonka, Fonyinka, Munega Basenka, from Carton to Koina. Yes, we are Nyomi. And would you guys like to know what happened yesterday? Election. Yes. Election o min kata kunung. Nindin Dr. Pareta mbe open line kela. Ngalo mineket. Keri muneka fanyadi. Niamina West. Ubale ketaje. Okay? So thank you. Alumpatungana Dr. Call. Al-Nimbara. I want everybody to come in. Let me call the doctor. Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh. We will do it through the phone. Yes. After I will update his picture for everybody to see. Yes. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready. We are ready. We are on the game. Yes, Al-Nimbara. Yes, let's call him. I'm gonna call. Alimbatu, quit texting me right now. I'm trying to connect him. All right, so we're gonna talk to him through the phone. Yes, so y'all be patient with me. We will have a lot of discussion later on, open line. And you guys get ready. Hello, Dr. Janneh.
Yes.
Dr. Janneh, good afternoon. I am so sorry we could not hear you through the video.
That's all right. I don't know what it is. I checked everything and so the mic was working, the camera, and I was able to hear you very clearly too.
Right. I guess we can do it through the phone. Welcome to Binto Bantaba Network. We are a small community with a little platform. We just like to bring people that have details to educate us, to give us awareness about different issues that includes politics. Most of it is politics, but today we are really bringing you here to talk about issues at hand, including politics too. So, Dr. Janneh, you are welcome. Dr. Janneh is in. Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh from Gunjur. Gunjur. Dr. Janneh, why do Manding people call Gunjur Daba Nani?
Well, I guess because you have four access points, four major access points to the town. That's my understanding.
Oh, that's why they call it Daba Nani.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Janneh, you are welcome to Binto Bantaba Network. You can say hello to our community.
Well, I'd like to first express my gratitude to you and your team for inviting me to this program.
Thank you.
And giving me the opportunity to talk to your wonderful audience. Okay. And I'm glad you started the program by talking about mentioning Gunjur. Everything I do, I must have to say hello to my folks from Gunjur.
Right.
But I'm glad to be here talking to you.
Okay. Oh, so this is the usual question for everybody, and it's the hardest question I always ask people. Who is Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh?
Well, we got the first part already. I'm from Gunjur. My identity is very much tied to Gunjur. Mm-hmm. That's where I was born and went to school there, and I still live in Gunjur, even though I spend much of the time in the U.S. But when I'm in the Gambia, I live in Gunjur. I'm very involved in the community. Mm-hmm. I came to the U.S. in 1983 and studied at Knoxville College, University of Tennessee, and after the PhD, I taught for at least a decade. Mm-hmm. And after that, returned to the Gambia, worked at various places, including the U.S. Embassy, and served as a minister under Janneh. And 6 or 7 years after that, got in trouble and ended up at my to serve a life term.
Okay.
But that's about it. But after my release, I focused almost exclusively on trying to end dictatorship in the Gambia.
Okay. You say you have a PhD on what?
Yeah, I did my undergraduate in communications with a focus on journalism, mm-hmm. Because I was a reporter at Radio Gambia during Kukoi. Mm-hmm. So that got me into study journalism. But the master's and PhD in political science with concentration in international politics and comparative politics.
Okay. All right, that's great. I heard you said you work with in Janneh's government. What was the experience like?
Well, I served as Minister for Communications for a year and 3 months. Mm-hmm. That's from April 2004 to July 2005. And it was at the height of the struggle, particularly by the media fraternity, to end the provision to change the constitution to remove the media commission that was established under Janneh. Mm-hmm. The constitution provided for a media commission that almost, was to operate like an enforcement agency without any representation from the media. So when I became minister, that was the major issue of contention. But I worked very closely, especially behind the scenes, mm-hmm. with the media fraternity, and we ended up changing the constitution. Then they ended up changing the constitution to remove that provision. But that was also a time when Janneh was very harsh, particularly on journalists, mm-hmm. Disappearances, even an assassination and burning down some media, at least one media house. So it was very difficult. And Janneh, as we know now, as we've known, was a very autocratic leader. He didn't pay much advice to any of his cabinet ministers. He did as he wished. He didn't care about constitutional provisions because all he had to say is change the constitution and the entire National Assembly would do as he wished. So it was very difficult
to work with him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But because of my close association with the U.S. Embassy, when I was hired from the U.S. Embassy. And, one of the things I did was to draft, I played a role in drafting the U.S.'s human rights report on the Gambia. So the media was a major component of that. Right. So I worked closely with the GPU and some in the media fraternity, and also my background from the U.S. Embassy. He ultimately fired me for, the official reason was for providing sensitive information to a foreign embassy, in essence, as a spy. So I was fired because he believed I was a spy for the U.S. and for his opponents.
Okay. I've been hearing you talking about media, all that work you've been putting in place. The draft constitution failed. I don't want us to go and I bring you back. I just want us to talk about that. The new constitutional draft failed. And I think in the new constitutional draft, they have at least amended something. They have wrote something that will favor the media, different from 1997. But now it failed. What amendment do you think on the media side should be done under this 1997 Constitution?
Well, to be frank, I would like to see that entire Constitution done away with. Okay. Because the 1997 Constitution was, in essence, handcrafted by Janneh. Initially, the provisions were, somewhat impressive because the people who did the work did excellent work. But Janneh changed things relating to term limits and media freedoms. And as time went on, as he grew more powerful, he, just changed the Constitution. It was as if our Constitution was written in pencil. He just erased and replaced stuff. So things like libel and sedition should be decriminalized. In democracies like in the U.S., if you commit violations like that, slander or libel, you can be sued and have say monetary damages and so on, but not to make it a criminal offense. That should be done. And a lot of these things relating to providing false information to a public official are all designed to penalize whistleblowers and journalists and even people who write on the social media. And I believe if you try to change the Constitution piecemeal, even as it relates to the media, it's going to be very problematic and it will take a whole lot of time. So I've been in support of just doing away with that Constitution.
Okay. What else is in that in that Constitution you would recommend to be amended?
Well,
since we cannot get rid of it right now.
To be changed.
Yes.
To be changed. I want everything changed, but some of the things I've had problems with. Janneh wanted to make it very difficult for any credible opposition to become very powerful in the country. So many of the provisions have been designed to make things difficult, especially, if you're talking about the residency requirements. For instance, if you want to run for president or for National Assembly seat, the residency requirements, I forgot exactly the time period, but have been made in such a way that people in the diaspora can just decide to go back even a year before elections to try, to compete. So that limited participation, limited the pool of candidates, and the amounts that are required under the Constitution to run for office, whether it's for the presidency, and also to set up a political party. All those are very absurd and need to be done away with. I would also, like to see changes relating to redistricting. If you look at the population of Combo South, the number of registered voters in Combo South is, I believe, more than the number of registered voters in the entire Foni. So you have these imbalances, and if you talk about Janjambure and others, it's even you see the disparities. So we need to have some kind of redistricting where votes would have about the same weight across the country, and so those are some things. But media freedom, the incumbent has under the current system, the incumbent has almost exclusive use of state media. Even when the president coughs, there'll be a report on GRTS, that the president coughed or sneezed. But you can have the opposition making pronouncements that have national implications, and you have very little coverage because there's the fear that if you cover, if you give equal time and fair coverage to the opposition, it may have an impact on one's career. So those are some very problematic things. And of course, the provisions that give immunity to perpetrators of heinous crimes under the previous regime. We can't allow those to remain in the books. You can't, kill folks and then claim immunity or indemnity or whatever. But those are,
we the diasporians are not voting. Yes.
The diaspora too. I mean, we've all seen how much the diaspora, the kind of role that the diaspora played in bringing about the change that we now have. We spent we used our resources to travel all around the world. I know CCG, my group Coalition for Change Gambia, and our allies, Duga and others, have traveled from South Africa to Geneva to Brussels, New York, and Washington, D.C., going all over the world, Yamoussoukro in Cote d'Ivoire, all in the fight against Janneh. We know the Gambia Democracy Fund raised huge sums of money. So the least we had expected was for there to be significant changes in the system to enable the diaspora to participate effectively in the political system and also in the overall development of the country. But not much has changed. We still have that old constitution. It means even if there's a provision for our participation, the government isn't going to take any steps to make that reality. And resources should not be an excuse. We've seen countries like Guinea-Conakry, Guinea-Bissau extending the vote to their diasporans. We've seen Guineans in the Gambia voting in their elections. So that's a major disappointment.
Right. Okay, before we move on ahead, we've been talking about coalition. When you say coalition, Gambians think that we are referring to only coalition 2016. But there was... Yes. What brought about...
this one is CCG. In fact, that's what got me in prison in the first place. So we had set up a non-partisan group because I only joined a political party very recently, the UDP. But throughout, I'd never belonged to any party. And we thought that was essential if we were to try to convince the party leaders and civil society to come together to work for change. We felt it was necessary to be non-partisan. In the background, we worked with some of the parties that we supported. So CCG, Coalition for Change Gambia, was formed in 2010, 2011, and it brought together, people like Andetafa Sose, who was one time president of the GPU, Bankamane, Samara Demba in Washington, D.C., Matthew Balde, I think Matthew Jallo, and a few other folks. So we worked largely on the ground, but I was the only one based in the Gambia, which is why when I was arrested, even though the others were charged, they were all outside of the country. So that is it. But we continued that work. We organized a civil society forum in New York in 2015, and that was attended by Hamad Bar, this is Fatmata Tambajang, OJ, and Seydi Gassama of Amnesty International in Senegal, the rapper Human, because at the time he was doing some very powerful songs for our struggle. So we got a lot of folks. Other than Gambians, we had those people there. Sidi Sane was there, Sol Benga, and Coach Tassan Bajau. And then we followed it up with a second one in 2016 in Dakar. That one too, we had Mai Fati, we had Khalifa Sallah, Mrs. Tambajang attended that as well. We had journalists like the late George Christensen and a few other people from the Gambia.
Right.
So that was our mission. In addition to going to international organizations, international events to lobby in Geneva, Yamoussoukro, and Brussels, we held meetings to try to bring the opposition together.
Yeah, and it kind of worked. They have the idea. They have the idea. I don't know from there.
It worked because other than bringing them together, we'd also be raising funds to give them. We consulted them before making submissions. We lobbied the EU significantly. Banka and I were regulars in Brussels. And, I went with several others, Sidia Bayo, Banka, Musa Sedikan, Mama Linger, and many others to Geneva, on several occasions to make submissions to the UN Commission on Human Rights.
Yeah.
And in addition to those making submissions and the advocacy, we also played roles in all of the demonstrations that, took place. Whether it's, if you look at the old videos, you'd see me at the demonstrations in Washington, D.C., New York, Dakar, even Brussels. So we played our part.
I think it brought a lot of awareness to people, to Gambians, to focus on Gambia, because so many people were outside the country for so many years. They never knew they never really listened to much. But when you guys came up, we started reading and following and focusing on Gambia until we are here where we are now. So thank you all for thank you all for the service.
And we even took some significant risks, because I remember on one occasion myself, Sidia Bayo, and Cisse, we organized a trip. Sidia didn't go on that one, but I went with CDC said to the border, Gambia-Senegal border, November 2014, to distribute anti-dictatorship T-shirts. And the NIA reported the matter to the Senegalese, and we ended up being arrested, and we spent a night at the Karang police station. So
that's how you get in trouble, right? You were in prison.
Well, no, that was well after I left prison. The other one was just distributing T-shirts in the Gambia in I think May, June 2011. CCG printed 100 T-shirts with End Dictatorship Now, and I wore, mine and distributed the others in town, and that's what got me arrested and charged and then convicted of treason and abuse.
Right. Oh, yes. We saw you on TRRC. Yes. We are sorry about that. We all felt.
That's all right.
Yes. But we can say you sacrificed a lot for the Gambians. And with that, the TRRC under this 1997 Constitution, do you think we should expect anything good from their recommendation?
Well, the TRRC is important. Even myself, I had some misgivings. Initially, I didn't want to testify. I said, what's the point when you have people who have admitted to, horrendous crimes, killings, and so on, could simply testify, walk away, and, go home and mingle with the rest of us in the country. But after talking to a few people, I was convinced, particularly by Gay Soul and, some other friends, I figured, it's important to appear before the commission, at least so we have a historical record. Who knows, if we have this current government that's ignoring reports by commissions, we may have a change of government, a change in the system, and make use of the valuable information gathered by the TRRC, the recommendations made by the TRRC and the other commissions. So this, and that's why I felt it was important. Even, if we're looking at the 1997 Constitution to, see how it gives immunity to AFPRC and folks, we may have a change at some point and, be able to make effective use of the record. So it's important. The TRRC is important, putting out information and creating a historical record of all of the repression that went on in the country.
Yeah, that's thank you.
But even if we have a new constitution, we have all of those things. If the political will is lacking, if the political leaders are not willing to take any action, it would the responsibility would rest squarely with the population to increase the pressure to make sure that something is done. But hopefully, when we have some kind of change, these things would be taken seriously.
Okay. Since when Barrow came into power, newly, he was appealing to the qualified people in the diaspora to go home and join him to work. Have you considered that?
Well, I was not particularly concerned about working. I started working since I finished high school before I turned 17. And right after high school, I worked for the RDP and then a reporter for Radio Gambia. And since I completed my program in the U.S. too, got a PhD in 1990. Since then, I've never been unemployed. I taught at the University of Tennessee for 10 years. I did all of that. So, and I know that even my student stipend, graduate student stipend, is far more, that I was receiving in the 1980s is far more than what they're going to pay me. So I was not particularly looking for a job, but I needed to go back home. Janneh expelled me from my own country, and I was told never to return back. So the day that he left, he fled to Equatorial Guinea. That was the same day that I entered the country. So I got back to the country even before Barrow. So I was in the country the same day that he left. And my priority has been to contribute to, the welfare of the community, whether it's in relation to the environment, organizing civil society events in the country, providing input on a host of things, whether it's on media reform or human rights, victims. Set up a victim center and hosted it for a year before we got funding to, for it to stand on its own. So work has not been my concern. I've been able to go back and forth. In fact, I spent a whole year there while at the same time teaching at Georgia Southern University. They made an arrangement and all my courses were online. But my concern is the impact of some of these foreign investors on our environment, making sure that we have a system whereby no one would, be expelled from the country or be killed mainly for your views. But a lot of folks have returned to the country, and if Barrow is serious, there are still some outside the country that he can recruit to participate in the system.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question because you are qualified, and he said he needed the qualified people to go help him run the country. So that was the reason why I asked you.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. There's no shortage of qualified people, even in the diaspora, who are willing to go. Mm-hmm. Some have gone there and checked the situation and provided their documents and other credentials. Yet, there's not been considered. I think Barrow is content with maintaining Janneh's system, from protocol officers to key policy advisors. He is relying almost exclusively on the folks that he found there, the people who were doing the bidding for Janneh. Just look at the cabinet itself. The key ministries are headed by people who held those posts under Janneh. And you can go, to the foreign service. You have lots of remnants from the old system. So he's not looking to bring about change. Instead, I believe he's looking for a way to maintain a grip on power, just like Janneh did.
All right. Well, I heard you said you lately joined the UDP. I was following you, and I saw the day you joined the UDP. I don't remember the exact date, but it wasn't too long ago. Why UDP? Because there are so many parties you could join. Why UDP?
Yes, as I mentioned to you, I worked with almost all of the political parties in the background when we were fighting to bring about change. Mm-hmm. And many of the leaders I can consider personal friends. Before I joined any party, I would have Ahmad visited me at least a couple of times at home. My party, I can call and say, come to the victim center, we need you. Even when he was a minister in the cabinet there, and he would come. Mrs. Tambajang, virtually all of them, because I worked with them before, and they knew I was not trying to, get a job or something. And but I looked at and also had meetings with Barrow, one at State House when he was still at the Vice President residence when they were using that place as a State House. And at State House too, had, invitations there. And had a meeting at Mankamankunda with him, where I was accompanied by Hamad Ba. But ultimately, I decided I wouldn't want to associate with Barrow's government, or at least the movement he was trying to set up a political party. In essence, when we had a meeting at Mankamankunda, I had him say a lot of derogatory remarks about the UDP. So I figured if he can say those things about the party and individuals who risk their lives for him to be president, people he worked with for very long periods of time, I can say, decades. I feel like if I join him, he will, at some point do the same thing to me, and that he was bringing Jammeh's folks closer and moving away from everyone who helped put him in place. And I looked at the other parties and just decided the UDP is the best as far as I was concerned. Because I've been very concerned about the environment, about diaspora participation in the political process, human rights, and so on. I looked at the UDP and felt the party's positions are very consistent with mine. And I also figured once I become a member, I can play a role in trying to shape the party's direction just like any other member.
Thank you. That's good. Thank you. So you decided UDP, that was your feeling, yellow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now I'm the thick of things. And,
okay. Hold on for me.
Okay.
Binto Bantaba community, hey community, we have Dr. Scattred Janneh. We could not connect him through the video, so we have him through the phone. So I think he is really clear. Welcome, whoever is late. I would like you guys to like the page and share. This information is very important. We cannot just let it sit out like that. And whoever comes late, you are welcome. We have Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh. So, Dr. Janneh, I'm gonna bring on three things happening at the same time, especially in Gunjur, which will be the Golden Lead Fish Meal Factory, sand mining, and land disputes. But before I say that, I'm just gonna remind everybody about what happened to us from Faraba. I am from Faraba, Bantam. We lost 3 brothers June 18, 2018. Bakari Kujabi was 32 years old, and he was the only son to his mother and had 2 little sisters. They are still little. We lost him. We have Amadou Jao. Amadou Jao was killed at the age of 24, 25. He was a teacher, and he was in his final year at Gambia College HTC. We lost Ismail Abba. Ismail Abba was just a young man, 17, 18, trying just to grow up. He was just trying to grow up. But one thing, when he died, when he was killed, his father said he felt like his right hand was cut off his body. I'm sorry, guys. I get emotional when I talk about my brothers.
I understand.
They were just killed because Faraba community, we don't want our sand to be digged because it's going to drown the entire community, our food, our living, and everything else. We lost our brothers because one individual wanted to come and clear the sand. We are still hurt. And these parents were compensated $1 million each. You compensate a mother that lost a son, only son, $1 million. We have a lot of wounded. They get compensated with a couple of thousand, and most of them are still struggling every day just to get this amount of money. And I'm calling Lamin Sane, governor of West Coast. Please, our disabled, our hurt, wounded people, they need that little thousands that they are promised. They go to their bank, they told them to open bank account. Every day they go there, there's no money in there, and they spend their pass. They're fair to go there every time. We have other people that lost their properties. So most of them are compensated, but most wounded ones are not compensated. So the reason why I'm saying this, we're having serious issues. Land dispute, sand mining on the environment. Dr. Janneh, I felt like
yes,
I should talk about this because you are
I know it's very important. It's very important, and it's very much related to some of the problems that occurred after that Faraba incident. A very good commission was set up.
Right.
It included very able individuals, and they came up with concrete recommendations that the government just decided to ignore. I recall the recommendations called upon government to try to address this land and land problems and issues relating to the environment, whether it's sand mining or these fish meal factories, very urgently. Otherwise, it would lead to further conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing was done. Not long after the Faraba incident, we also had problems between a community in Jur and another one, Berendi, which ultimately led to the killing. That too has not been resolved, and we still have occasional skirmishes in that area. It means the government puts up some impressive commissions, but when their recommendations are provided, nothing gets done. And that's a major problem, whether it's the Janneh Commission, the Faraba Commission. The individuals do very excellent work,
mm-hmm.
but the government simply does not pay any regard to them, and we end up in the same cycle. And as long as these are not taken head on, whether it's the Faraba issue, Berendi, sand mining throughout the country, the fish meal factories, we will continue to have problems. I know for Gunjur, the Golden Lead factory,
yes,
that business cannot be sustained over a long period of time. A business that pollutes the environment, emitting foul smell throughout the area,
mm-hmm.
is not going to continue. Mm-hmm. As long as you have resistance from the community, mm-hmm. it becomes a matter of time mm-hmm. for that enterprise to end. And even though the National Environment Agency cited Golden Lead for various violations, even took them to court, high-level government officials encouraged an out-of-court settlement that simply did not meet our expectations. The company continues to pollute, and they were, required to pay a very small amount in exchange for them to continue doing what they have been doing. And the mm-hmm. youth in Gunjur, for instance, got so upset about it that they gave a deadline to Golden Lead that mm-hmm. remove your pipes that dump waste into the sea, mm-hmm. or else we'll do it ourselves. So I took the lead and went with the youths to remove those pipes. Mm-hmm. We were taken to court. We won our case. Pipes in there, so it's no longer illegal for them. Now our problem is with the government that has authorized them to place those pipes. So the challenge is largely with the government. And many of us contend that because of the huge amounts of money that many of these companies make, particularly Golden Lead, they're able to they're able to bribe their way. They're able to pay senior government officials to continue their operations. That way they look the other way. And we are seeing some evidence of that.
Yeah, hold on. Let me play. Let me play
Okay.
the video you were talking about the youth.
By then, they were already asked by the government to remove the pipes. They did not. We removed the pipes. We were taken to court, and the magistrate, ruled that that you should have taken Golden Lead to court, not these guys who were exercising their fundamental rights. The government turned around now. They authorized the company to put the pipes, reinstall the pipes. And we're still faced with that problem. They're pumping waste into the sea. The foul smell continues. And we occasionally see dead fish all over the place there. And no one is seriously addressing, because we believe they've paid off many of these officials, especially at the fisheries ministry, but we suspect environment as well.
But was there any protocols that should be followed before they establish such company in a community like that?
Well, the initial establishment was during Janneh's time, but even then, the usual procedure is to have an environment impact assessment, and that was done. Some conditions were set up for them to follow, but they ignored them and went beyond the authority they were given. No one authorized them to put a pipe to dump raw waste into the sea. They did that. They were cited. We removed the pipes, and now the government allowed them to do so. So they've been violating the terms of their license, but nothing has come out of it.
Do they sign this contract with the government or with the community? Do they even get?
No, it's the government that does the licensing. They were able, through their allies from Gunjur, they were able to get that land for free. They got that land for free, and were able to get the license from the government. After the environment impact assessment was done, I think that was just a formality, and they were given the license, because that factory should not be that close to the sea, and the location, and also close to our Bolong Senyo reserve area. That too is problematic, because some waste used to be dumped in that reserve area.
Is the community benefiting from them? Is the community benefiting anything from them?
No. In fact, during our meetings, we tried to find a compromise. We gave them a list of 10 things that we wanted. One, instead of giving like $1,000, $2,000 each to some elder in town to, give their support, for them to contribute to development projects in town, like upkeep of the health center, the schools, and stuff like that, in a very transparent way, to have a fund, a fixed amount or percentage that they have to contribute to the community. And we all know, would know how much they're contributing. We also asked for them to clean up the area, the waste they've dumped in the Bolong Senyo, and, do a cleanup, pay some punitive sum, and also to remove their pipe and to do do something with the waste so that the foul smell won't be emitted anymore. We call for protections for their local employees because they don't keep any records. They just give them cash, and the working conditions are terrible. They don't have even proper toilet facilities for their workers. So we wanted, all of those things, but instead they've been able to, and even the access road from the main highway to the sea, that thing has been eroding so fast because of the containers that the big trucks that apply from their factory to the main highway. So it's been very destructive to the road. They've not contributed. We wanted for them to contribute to at least maintaining that 1 mile road from the main highway to their facility. That has not happened.
But the same road is the same road that some Gunjur members of the community said that when they came, they promised them the road. They will the road, the market.
They promised they were going to fix the road. They promised they were going to create, I don't know how many,
employment,
jobs and all that. Yeah, but none of that has happened. They have, a few people who are permanently employed by them. The rest are folks who just carry fish from the boats to their factories, and they get paid, pittance. And you see the amount of fish that the factories process. You see containers almost on a daily basis, loaded with fish oil or this powder they make from the fish from the factory to Banjul to be exported. So the community is getting a pittance.
What steps should the community? But it does not look like most of the people in the community really like this notion that they should close down this factory. So do you think there will be other ways to make steps?
I won't say most. There are some, who would want for it to be maintained.
Okay.
Simply because they have not been very much educated about the implications. Even if you look at the health implications, these are not things you can just show people right there to say, hey, you see what it's doing to your health.
Right.
Many of these happen over a period of time. They're long-term, so we have to do a whole lot more to educate them about the long-term impact of the factory's existence in the community. But the ones who are getting paid directly from the factory, even if we are telling them they're giving you, just chicken change and making huge sums of money from your toil, they still want to maintain it. So we've been trying to come up with a compromise. That's why we mentioned this community fund and to remove the pipe and so on, to see how they can continue operating without further destroying the environment and also protecting their workers.
Right.
And that's what we've been trying to do as a middle ground. Of course, there are others who want them to shut down right away. I think that would be the best. But if you have some resistance to that, the middle ground could be making sure they operate, but within the law, and make sure that our officials stop taking bribes from them. Because as long as they're in the pockets of the Chinese, they're not going to do anything.
Yeah, just like the fishery,
suspended because of such allegations.
Yes, such allegations that happened about the ministry. Fishery. Okay, so what about the sand mining in Gunjur? Is it affecting the community in any way, you think?
Yeah, that too. We toured the area and took drone shots. And because many of those areas are very, are somewhat removed from the residential areas, they're kind of not within sight, people don't, tend to worry much. But if you see what sand mining is doing to our very short, coastline, you would become an activist overnight because you have, if there's any kind of flooding in some of those areas, it's going to be devastating. And they're depriving people of farmland. Many of the women who traditionally do their gardening in those areas are losing significant amounts of land for their work.
And they are Tandako. I used to go follow grandma down there. They are Tandako. Yes.
Yeah. And the highways and all of the access roads to the sand mining areas get further destroyed. And when they're done with one area, they move to the next. So the government does not have a plan to even, restrict or limit sand mining to a particular area, and no matter what, to stick to that. But they move from one area to the other, and it's expanding. And I don't know. And for me, I don't believe the current government is going to take any serious measures, whether it's on loss of forest cover, sand mining, this fish meal factories, waste management, anything relating to all of those, unless we vote them out. That's my belief. These guys are not going to be concerned about that. Their priority is how to stay in power. And if those companies are going to be providing them with the money to buy their way, that's what they're going to do. So I believe only a change of government, when we vote President Barrow and his group out, that we can have a serious government that would take environmental concerns, with land disputes seriously, human rights, and violations under the previous regime seriously.
Yeah, let me take you down to land dispute. Do you think the country, we need to go back to revisit our land tenure system?
Well, I know I'm not sure what kind of tenure system has to be put in place, but I know some experts and community leaders and stuff would have to sit, engage in dialogue, have consultations, look at what prevails in other countries to come up with a solution. It may not be something that would make everyone happy, but the present system isn't working. And as long as it's not solved, we're simply passing the can down the road to the next generation, because the conflicts would continue, the conflicts would intensify and may get even worse. So we have a responsibility to bring together experts, community leaders, look at what happens in other countries to solve it. But the system as it is right now isn't working.
Fiscal planning have been accused of causing a lot of problems. Do you have any idea about that a little bit too? Fiscal planning?
Well, I know the physical planning, some of the problems have been that the information is not in digital form. And there are many cases where allocations would be made, leases would be prepared for multiple individuals for the same plot of land. And but it's not just a problem of physical planning or the government. We also have a community, members of our community who sell plots of land to multiple individuals. You have properties that are owned by an extended family,
right?
And various members would say, one would sell, and then the next day the brother would go and sell the same plot. We have lots of those going on. So the community also bears a responsibility. Some members of our community, bear responsibility.
Like the real estate too. The real estate, they're scamming. Yeah, they're scamming a lot of people.
Yeah, and
especially...
in the U.S. here, I was a licensed real estate agent here in Georgia.
Right.
But before you get that license, you have to, take a course, take an exam, and pass the exam before you're licensed.
Right.
And selling a plot of land or buying a property includes so much paperwork. It's unbelievable. But those are the things that make sure that guarantee you won't have multiple individuals claiming ownership of property, or ensure that somebody else won't go behind your back to sell the property, and you have a record. You can, check the system and know who owned the property from the time it was built. Let's say the house was built. So it's very important. But we don't have that. All you have to do to set up a real estate agency, just go get, pay a basic fee. You're given a license. You're given a license, and then you can go, sell property.
Right.
There has to be a system where the people engaged in real estate are required to take a particular course, meet basic requirements, some stringent requirements. Yeah. Okay. And also for all of the information to be in digital form, particularly with physical time.
Right. Okay, well, thank you so much. I saw the pictures about Gunjur, what is going on by the what the impact the factory is putting on the community. So I will keep showing them the pictures, and we really appreciate your work for the community and for us. Yes, my stepmom is from Gunjur. I remember I used to go there with my aunt, with her aunties. They are my grandmas. We go and do that. We go smoke the choker and all that stuff at the yes. But when I went back there, it looked different completely this time. So I'm gonna get you out. We always talk about discipline on this platform all the time. That's our motto. No disrespect. We just want lecture. We just want to know what is going on, just like I told you at the beginning of the show. So we will not let you go since we run out your time. We just want you to talk about today's politics in the Gambia, tribalism and insult. What advice do you have for that, for us?
Well, I hear a lot of talk about tribalism and all of those things, particularly online. But since I spent 9 months in the Gambia, I returned here in September, and my experience has been that it's not as serious as we are led to believe online.
Okay.
Of course, Janneh sowed the seeds of tribalism, tribal strife in the Gambia, but we're able to go beyond that. Gambia is very small. We have a very small population. There's a great deal of intermarriage and so on. I use myself as an example. My grandfather came from Sierra Leone. We don't even know if he's really Hausa or Temne or Mende. He came from Sierra Leone. He was Catholic. He moved to the Gambia at a relatively young age, converted to Islam, and married my paternal grandmother, who's Tukuloro Fula, and my mother is Mandinko, and my wife is Wolof from Senegal. So with those types of things, and that's very common in the Gambia. It's very hard for us to understand why some would see tribe as anything important. But it exists, but I believe we should all go beyond that and know that we are interrelated. We are the same people. We have the same needs. We have the same concerns. And people should be judged on the basis of their character. We should all have the same opportunities. And once we do that, the issue of tribalism or any other irrelevant, distinctions won't be a matter of concern. So there's a lot of hope because it's a very small country and there's a lot of intermarriage and we are in the same communities. So there's hope.
There's hope. Yeah. Okay. One more question. Okay. Elections have the by-elections have been done in Niamina and Ker-Jarga.
Ker-Jarga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And UDP did not have any candidate in Niamina, but they have a candidate in Ker-Jarga. The UDP candidate had 219. But most UDPinkers are saying it's not their territory. What do you think UDP should do now?
Yeah, those are GDC zones, spheres of influence, and that's particularly the reason why UDP did not put up a candidate in Niamina, and also out of respect for the late National Assembly member from the GDC. He was a very dynamic individual, I understand, outgoing in the National Assembly. So for those reasons, UDP decided to not to put up a candidate to, support GDC.
Right.
But if NPP tries to extrapolate anything from those minor victories to imply that they'd be able to beat the UDP, they'd be dreaming because those are relatively small. Niamina is very important.
Right.
I mean, even 2 votes is very significant.
4,000 is a lot.
It's more like Republicans winning Alaska, and then Trump winning Alaska, and then using that to imply victory across the country.
Right.
So it's not much. It's a setback for GDC, and of course, many of us who wanted to see GDC win. But we know there are bigger battles waiting, and I am very confident that UDP will triumph.
Okay, I want you to advise us, this one in Mandinka or any other language, local language, the environment, the lands, disputes, and the mining, or whatever, and the Golden League, whatever advice you have for us, the people, and the government. Can you say it in Mandinka so our other viewers that do not understand English will know what was the details we were talking about? At least they will hear something. We are really honored to have you.
Napendol minu fo mbal konton la moerlalbe aninka binto jai pura nyim programo minke kurun senyo karandi aninka nyoka lamtande mimbe kirin Gambia. Golden lead kuonying Gunjur. Amu problem le timi yalo momo tata Gunjur wati jamai ba jelele sunkango ke ma nyami. Ni tata bada to ila factory be dami fana ba jele pipe le soto ila sen noringol yelol ni sangol minu kabonyele ka bong ba kono bi ka bon dami manjang fa nyelu ka mol dol kate ku dami na bolongo bije fana ka fa dami bolong fenyo ila fen noringol doli ka fayje mi mun tolla problem at wala muni wo continue ta sina kurango le sambanang molye minnu bije ani minnu fana ka nye min ka bogunjura kata dula jamalet ning wolye wodomo amanke fenti mi ya lon ko kilim na dore ba kurango jela so tol ka nyimmin fo malla fi molye si fo ngaje kurango kake woto kola yana ku keje bari nga ku kelele fom batata nimma sakunda kol kasi nga kacha in Chinese all seat and kacha nga fengo be fo hani man sakunda bunda dol fa ya tandile ko ni be min imanya nga kela bari na man sakunda man ku keje hani bi ikela do ko ke nyami ba kan wala nyaman tol jikita ko modol bije ka Chinese ol ka ko do le dila wala atine ka la ko tenjibe ila motobal minnu kanaje ka la product ol bondije ke samba kurieta China wal fana wo silol tinya kende kele donc Chinese ol mantara ko di ke kanje pour kada Kenya bio fana Gambia la bada la fankaso man jam fa ba ke nie banku potongol jive katum banku dingole bengul bari inie dulado bi e jebe tinya e saun e dulado bi abe continue kan dulado de daning molman tara sabatirinje wala tinna bika kalam bar musol ke la nakol ke daning ila nakol dulal ide fokan dulal la do ka kodindine dile la dulal ka ya be ke Kenya biran bari min keta fara ba fana mbe nga jele fomolu mo fata je ye commissioner set up wali reporto di mansakundala ka fo nyanta min be kala anin fana nyanta singol min kala pour wo sifa kana continue bankoka bari mansakunda manna hani kula ke oto dum wala atinna akwal continue ta fo kunjurni berendin tema fana mo fata je ndum hani biwo kwal be keren nin ka molna tina ka recommendation ol dila min be nyanta kala ya foy ibika kuwa tamandi woton na problem ol be continental kabiring a land kuwa fa environment dum man sakunda ye silol min foko anyanta tamandi la pour ka kolu bay ibika ke a problem ol continental so on ka wala fa nin fana fi fatan fan solo ko Gambian bankun dinne ti mi ya lon ko be dentale ifase ke sido ti ba sido la muso sido on defon ta keta nyami ngal ne mo jama fana dole nyam so si fatan fan so womanta ate ka fole problem dinno mun naje atunye banku ko tengol jida tambito bari jiko bijele ko tol denta nyami be nyoko no nyami wo manta kala problem bati jiko bijele so amira ngawle be kacha so baraka ba
thank you kachata ya be fatam fansi ni aka yekulo yo subo wondi kulo bara yalon ila kulo kilinna bijel lafta wala fonye
wala munti
yebuko le safe
nga buko le safe nga wato minke prison nga wato minke prison ani nga telefono soto je nyaming for diri ya molfa nga kata fonga information o bonde ataro wato man sakunda ka fo ya me ka fo ma hani mofa para tarante nga telefono tale nga Skype use nga mol beto fo minnu fa nga wato fo minnu fa fo ima ku so no tilfula nyate nate ha to nyalo ni fale bari me fa ara mission ni fa sibitol bari wo fana ni aja keta no de tafa sose min na be CCG during ala beginning and during the minister ala the GPU ni ka meeting on soto kulokon woto le lata ko warning min fa atetem dindila ku kono so during the prison ka telecommandika information of diala ateka di dunia
sa ntolbe nyimbuko soto la no
mun detail standing up against injustice leti ni tata online hani en talk about Amadou Scattred book near Google iba book jelale aka sanno le online.
Okay, we appreciate you. We appreciate backling honor talake soto. Ninga any other further stuff soto mi alonko itelam the right person to put on nisa kachambine normal. Yeah.
Okay, no
we
problem.
Appreciate you.
Kata lao to hani ko killing before ni nga kata fonga video kenomba try lale. Hopefully I will work lale next time. Baraka back.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh yes. Are you guys following? Oh yes. Community. Binto Bantaba Network. Yes. Alwe parerin nawa. Ali Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh. Did you hear the discussion? Please share this information. It's very important. It's about our environment. It's about Golden League in Gunjur, the health of our community there. It's about land dispute. It's about politics. Gambia, he's a UDP member, and all advice will be, please, it's not all the time nyanta kiti fonga singa tenkunga class tami alonko bellamoilo. We will listen carefully and hear the details. All right, I will share his picture later if you don't know who we were talking to. I couldn't do the video, so we have to end up doing the audio. So open line right now. I'm gonna do open line for just 1 hour. The number, get ready. The number is +1 if you are out of the country, 678-390-0539. Look on the scrolling. Allah scrolling dulanin jibe. Ila screen obala. 1-678-390-0539. Laftanga election o min keta Niamina. Anin Ker-Jarga. Laftanga wala kacha. But science alin so 1 minute langa call ke. MPP, congratulations. Sombe mo call Gambia nga kashanyin start. All right? Alin share. I'll page your like, I'll follow. Nalma woke. Information o doli binala le. Alte lon. I'll follow, I'll page your like, I'll share. Please. I'll kana nyo information or hiding a friends or like that. This is how information goes. So mbe call kela ngana kibaro moije what is going on. Aliye lamoy then I'll be number parent 1 hour. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Brother Esa.
Yes, sister.
Dafa ali rimbang boy. MPP. Oui.
Alhamdulillah. Ni mu fi ñu ko la di bari du no fon be ñaato.
Okay.
Ni just tip of the iceberg. Many things will be ñaato le ni alhamdulillah inshallah.
So welcome la Binto Bantaba Network once again. You are UDP member. Itam UDP member leti. So after your walk through
No, point of correction. Point of correction. You say which member?
Imanke MPP member.
NPP, yes. America for UDP.
What a mistake tale. What a mistake tale. Yeah, about the UDP incorporated the Avola size. Some better for rectify in case now for the month of on them brother. Sign. Left yen tamandi.
Yes.
Yen tamandi.
Yes.
Niamina. Mine atina. Aliye mineke falu winter je with that landslide. Aliye nana nkoteke Ker-Jarga fenko nying mune ka fay nyadi. Wamu Councilor your worth. So mbella moy la say lafta ye mol kachandi mobe be la moy kan hey sala vidjang NPP yo ali la moy alalla nombal mabot ali alalla telephone dadia esa thank you for coming in. Thank you say mbella moy lela ini moli kacha
Abaraka bake follow kabiring NPP patio lota yaram patio la lonya ni la programme nga fele ko nyimu grassroots based patio de amange patio de mi alon ko kaminje wolam mo danda nek patio lo santo yena fo molie ma patio le lo so la fale dinge la fale na le kafuma nyim patio manke woti patio a sosta dumale satel to kabilol to wodol to constituency to kana foto nya fo sato so the party will come back at the royal no because more the time party and they saw the ownership. Yeah. So nimba election again and dollar grip at the ground level na grip dula bela banko pay. Despite molbe aboko president omang mo soto ha mo coming for a wole mindiko. President boy banko winda jang felela asita maroke maral nya sahare ngola mi alon ko banko dingol be sonding ko maral nya sahare ngol betemo wala be Gambia woto da fo no ko moto bulu so bari NPP bringa nga patio min lo ngamin ke follow wolem kam mol la nyantolu ila wolem power belongs to people yo e buga si state house o si dollar ka fay ko nga karle tombong wala ala député ala kan wol yo to mo bugan ko kana koku nka mol la tambindi folo nga beno yo wala na nyimba election sumantana nyamena anin Ker-Jarga nyame to lamra kanite tang anin fula wolle toste NPP la tikko la pour que lo NPP la tikko
okay
yo wotani pro jannim primaries be kilona ta bang ala la control futuma
ha
la to je tang anin killing wolle contesta pour primary nyinto so ndol ngami fo drong wala indiko ndol ta moto monna ali jang nyamena ko nyamena yosu ko atol le alla mo long anu la taw momi yal represent atol le boto monna ali adum tol block mol ki jele même que da political council ye mol ki jele bari wol tara min nake wala min ko ka primary election nyin ka oversee amenke ko ka conduct o ka influence use ge ka kuma fo al nyanda ngi nekela al kana nyin hani wol tara jele ka pol nyin korsi ka la moy forel so nyim mo tan kilo ya ka wala nyama ko alana da ke na rek mo ling elect mi alon ko wala nata gagner to the primary ka vole honorable brown so ima waya na fang nyin candidate to mal be mo man na farasi mo man na fa because be ko campagne kono amunda alila we saltara larne bawo nyamina wolu brin kunun han biri la député fobe balurin to nya alala komandro fitata male bari ngalon ko nata ko balurin bi kilo terlale ay coming kadu la député ak nyami mum salib jaw bi kilo ba terlale ay ke ko salib jaw yak gamin ka sawun kana NPP bari alhamdulillah ngaten du bawo ala dala ko donc ma buka bayi o asital bara tan ko nyamina ngolu wol beele kanotandi président lale yela la fotandi président lale yela la fotandi NPP lale no suute tole na suute maña tole so yare na campagne kono passa bake nyamina ngolu ya mutam fe man ko le ku clean soto wala na sina malka tiyo ke fara bake ari ka nyina ko ye support min gentol bulu ye molje ka krimbasi no ma nyami président ko la di ñul baro MP ko le ka molle sa
nkana wala fa
malla ko
kodo
so time in this time we would see you pull out strong hold malla wala you know So but coming for it MPP alonko and did compete no. For last sitting, the last program. The law me to go manin gol ko kon ni terla. Ike terle tare ni ter ni fangola ke fangola ta. So ni ni dola. Molbe padi do but NPP ni la drong. Molbe NPP le NPP mol fangola la parti. No?
Okay.
So,
okay. Hello? Muna ni ko kafo ko atelier fende aliya ñunu bribe pour ka carte soto. Hello? Abijela ba?
Now, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
go.
Yeah, come mo be claim indi kanko already a starter. E ka falo ko albe bribe na aliya mol bribe la cartel ta. So muna odun wam kasileti Gambia luato bang.
Yalon coming for wala fende kuro da fo fonyo yalon biro panin ko ya fole ina buga boyndi ama fo na dalala man pare ke be lampole fenketa ke nyole fenketa yalo be ko mi yalon ko I woman jimut wo mu frustration kubolati yaye so baran kamin tan la wala mi ko ni dalon ko this is the only way for success and ila taka jongande ke da bula jongande ko mina ne fana mo.
Okay.
If we can buy people and bribe them for their party and ila taka win, why not you do that?
Okay, well, ngamara
do that.
Yes. Okay, so mbe minkela alin call nan den nga esabula atol fana eduna lafta moyon call nan from GDC. So GDC ni UDP le lata nyola. Ite amara nin tonya ñun nata coalition okay NPP atol nyanta wori la ba.
Ayalo mimbige ndolo nga fo ya NPP ama ko NPP ngawe ata coalition ko la parti client. Nga bude maje mama enano ani bi mal laño kan ne bi askano be balfa do mandi ba biri ko e tara sembe do le funan rongi bude masterly anu ngamine plan to nga fo le do la do ko manke ko mantra do ko ke kan pu wino nka do ko kele ke bude fo la deposito la and we able to achieve that so nyimu is a literal mon padi mba mila kan ko e kana coalition le form against NPP you should learn your lesson today.
Okay, brother
so
hold on
ali pare
me call la yam mba la nga nyi dan ko nge call na ya mba tu nge call na.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, Bintu.
Ali birimintin na nyamalo mbarin ke jamalo wala not. Nanang ko rime birimintin.
Ntelem ntelem buba. Last time nge call la network.
Wallahi buba dukaral se am fanye sometime network call sometime ikatara ni live call ke kanadoro ye crash so bar alhamdulillah nga doctor soto telephone ole to den nata tol fanan soto so laftal doro nga je nga nyim election o min keta nga wakacha so bismillah.
Yeah, nko follow la fe ninka muntu ever do just someone nan kwata ke because na man ta particular bari last time tala ni ninka occasion ola foni president Barrow appoint is going to accept it all.
Dudu ja science yalo ne lafta nga fair nta fair la no perfectly but lafta fananga opportunity di you other parties la follow Fawante so lafta opportunity di lela bar nin solata APRC la dorom bine kamala fawante mbite kamala
nda man tra APRC o boto komen ko ala fenko ka diamu nyame is very nice so
brother yalone nyim platform o be nyame ntol Gambian ol nga na mayni yela nga relax nim moli kacha because APRC e kuleke does not mean that ko nim dudu janata jam moma nyanne la moy la hana be tonya la fola o bintole nata jang abe UDP le abe kumo min fo kam bayete UDP te la moy alanga na mayni yele ni lafta kala mbiroti ite lafta nyoboringo nola ite modol fananjibe ka busurulo ke nyame fo wante so yes so wo kuole ben tolla jang and UDP mbe fanana ko fo kam back ni NPP because it all the majority at the moment
nte mu MPP le anyway Bintu mbe sa dan fa konto na back
bismillah
last time abe diamu kan janne ba fula ko abe wuli ala NPP te kanyela yalo Facebook diamu ani carte fayo so kono is different
okay
kato ka tinya suta kilinela kato ka dada suta kilinela ngana campaign ke in civilized way without insult. Urombe kataja last week kunu minawe winda abiyam bambam. But men dia akamfa bol konole.
Okay.
So we all need to be act like a matured person, but mobe kana ka kuma ko dindingo kasi kanyone Facebook ka kuma jol ko Facebook ka camera comment mbe arjanal soto lawo sifal kono you can me alon ko bi ka fam that.
Okay.
But mo kana dudu mole kana mo kana dudu mola e dudu ye NPP he bakale
Jamal le hate Gambian or le hate for Patili be le hate for Dulale Patile be jemi ye hate.
Patile NPP hebde.
Okay.
Patile mo NPP hebde. Membe me aku abela na me hebole UDP.
Woli al hate.
Ya ani my head ya mfankala ko jututa NPP la ko ita fe win.
Okay. So brother, al winter,
yes.
So iko celebration wala ke beke kanje ngajale bay sankare hayna be nisi saba samba kanje. So alala
nani be koma.
Okay, all right. What am I line do down kula ya?
Okay, baraka.
All right. Okay, Musa. Okay. So alin call nang nganying ko kacha civilizedly. Alim batu line all be kuntuka Musa ala celebrate we saying MPP alka fintinal ni moli ya kacha alka foko UDP la kadulal be occupy natol be monoma NPP mbatol le la science natol be monoma albe baro fanam be la filala alka lo alka diam somewhere ni UDP call diam tal ko UDP call fatiata bar natol bu ka diam du moltal moyla UDP woto wali nana wal kadulal occupy. So mbele vile NPP alka call kana ntolo alka na foko manfair ntol platform on belong to every party hani mantara party fang hani mu independent is welcome to everybody for one day abeni hormone mbunya ngaka wote salamu alaikum
hello wa alaikum salam
Ibrahim
yes okay. Sister
ya call le kana mfele mbe binto bantaba network
yeah
okay.
Yeah, I know that. Coming up, like yeah, the program ta kuta bake.
Thank you.
But Dr. Kontona Scattred Mba Kontona bake ala brief explanation on you.
I mean, thank you.
Yeah, be fanam Kontona bake. Yeah, mina akumata ala kuta bake.
Thank you.
Yeah, ndebina ala mina ala fanna minto electoral minko science. Ngamera science Gambianol nyanda ka be learning point let.
Okay.
Because Niaji be incumbent president always aka sembo soto bakele.
Okay.
And then Molba fokan nung komando eko barota win NPP da win by election or parliamentary NPP da win konkola when the ward council sibla Ker-Jarga-Ward.
Brother jenke do manding ila ngamra fonyole be ila telephone ta be eko kan so much nyenkelen do manding ngalla nga yedi am number. Okay, Alin call nang +1 ni be out of the country. Ibrahim Alalino latale. Ibrahim call us back. Number nyim +1 678 3900539. Nali ajiba be scroll kanyindula. Al nanang nga ko kacha UDP al nyanta minekela APRC al nyanta minekela PDOS al nyanta minekela. Alin kana sidoro nga blame game ke. Yo aka alimbalal nga blame game ke yo alimbalal mbela no okay alimbata ko na assalamu alaikum
wa alaikum salam bintu
49 kodi 49 +49
Yeah, I'm Segu Drame.
Drame, Butua, you are in Binto Bantaba Network. You are welcome. He left a minute, he left a join on Nakachala, Akai Birmintina.
Yeah, I'm from left just I want to say a little bit about what you are talking with Dr. Amadou Janneh.
Please.
Okay. He was talking about there was an issue. The issue you was talking with him, and this issue is very, very important. Talking about tribalism in Gambia. Okay, bindon the cooking. Okay, come on, bit them can karte for member Gambia thing. I don't want to talk about it much, but I just want to talk about concern about this tribalism concern in Gambia. It's very, very important, Bindi, because first of all, tell kuna miro ngaje Gambia science tribalism wole mbarani baba kena bangoka.
Okay.
Yeah, because ni na jibe ntol be mu kilona ni kuma atafambe memfoka ni si jama jibe me anko da. For example, ni to ko ito manin kodi askeno it hanita manin ko futu maybe ila brother or la sister woni nyum sidol ko futale waranto ni dental woni ni dunta ko nyokono. Okay, Gambe dung bangkol da dango da batale so nyanta ku kala kan nyina o si fatam fansola o dal abga banko samanyato ake banko murundi ko mala naka fitness fana banko kan.
Okay.
Nte original nte I'm from Fonyi, but okay, nte bara Fonyi le, but original my parents are from Jara, but nte sita Fonyi kol men kono jola sato le, but ni na da korse jola ni man ko libike ban nyoto ntol dem kino le ntol le fututa ntol le wuluta nyoka ntol le mbadin kino le ntol le kafta nyoka I can feel. Okay, ni sido from the same thing. And I remember it's very akumata baba kale ntol le nyanta nyom tala ngaka kino ti ngasi futam fanso ban banko kan. Nde damba saying ka hannar banko kan whoever no matter what, even he's not a non-Muslim or non-Christian, as far as more kendall banko dingolam or not thinking about tribalism, not a banko dingolam more kendall as far as banko samanya banko ulin lanyata it's more important for me.
Okay. So
yeah,
nte se mimfono tribalism to nte se mimfo nte se yamaro mindi pati o pati sita je iko be jikirino ko tribal car le be carte dilela and you be winner. I think it's not gonna happen. It ain't in a full court.
Yeah, okay. Saya fanga imbarani baka ibaje dol fambe je sa kaje ni okay parti dobe je amalle amari la falola as a candidate na dañi si dole mang ite na man recycling. Even ni ba support kaje do fana saf ko ite nyang ko ite nyima ka cycling tin be carte fala ni warte be support la nyade. Ni man ko ni kreten sama sini be kreten o man kuma ya banko kan.
Okay.
Nten ka fnyol fanke tar janne jaman janni ka tar ka janni ka sonka nte ka ite ni la ko Gambia are no need we talk about tribalism, this tribe or this religion. This most important thing, don't even talk about religion, don't even talk about tribal. The most important as far as Amari Banko Dingotune, that's more important. All kumata as far as Banko Samanyar, all kumata bit.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
So yeah, and then I'm not in part of politics, I'm not part in any party, I don't support any party. As far as Amari Mokendor, that's okay for me.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. So mbe bulala mbe call do tala. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Alkana all the time ali nga continue kachala. Ali nana nga continue kachala. Kanyoso hakilola come like you have an independent mind. Wokumayatan tolma bakel. Akumayatan tolma bakel. So thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, Bintu. Yeah, welcome. Thank you.
Alimba fala mobe ninga call chika 2 minutes nga 2 minutes le di momola pour min satina nse call dantan sotono nse murunno nga esa fanan call back alim call nang the number is +1 678 3900539 ali doctor min kacha alnga murunga be kan electiono bi ngo time sotole so nga another few more minutes sotole pour min satina mbe nga kacha kanyo haklima ya londoro so the line is open alsen call nang 678 390 0539 alin call nang nga nyin call kacha yes doctor min kacha is very important nali agente diamuta fon kumbota farabala kuala because untol fota funding kelle ni nata bi alliance okay nga kola sotole assalamu alaikum
Welcome, sister.
Brother ibe line to binto bantama network ibirmintina
Yeah minka call from Italy.
Thank you.
So la para fa kumandin fa program la ko to but la fa mi fo wala ninti ko la fa ka about ni tribalism mul kami fotente because ni aji be Gambia ku fula wala fa Gambia tinyana
Okay.
Number one, wala ni political tribalism na molbe mi use ka. And secondly, penko corruption. But political ni minka fonkan jaga wala ka kinga nyata kolti. E ka nyata kumol mi fala moli pour moli kate fa nyata kala kumol mi alon ko they are very genuine point already.
Okay.
But nka disappoint ni nga mo na mol mi be nyato they are talking about political, you know, wakan ka udlaga kamfale da umay na kana
political tribal dundi political kon.
Na nyadun ko imagine wolle pomba wasindika
Okay, thank you brother, thank you. Nga 2 minutes le di mo beda itela o 4.
Si secondly corruption mi fo. Corruption nda radiked no la nda bay no la bon sa tala.
Okay.
Because nga video bode jane mi alon ko nga jere minister fa, you know, permanent secretary will be corruption okika. Gambia do yari nyami corruption wara nyami Gambia.
But it me mira corruption ola quarter man sakunda nyanta mine kela as soon as possible because ni moyo mola telefono chakuta bula sunya marseto o ay mola mburu kungo sunya e ko mari soro mile tule. But na molbe office also they are stealing. What do you say?
No, me say no is me ndaga mira wala nyindi ko corruption, you know, nimmingo min corruption ke ndiye mutali yesa balwa lwa nyatli ngola.
Okay, but what want to
get nyum just imagine jibelo ko this man say minister or nyum is a local person. Everybody should be equal to the law.
I don't think of a constitutional draft constitutional nyum kono.
But ngajele department secretary me la allegation of about fisheries. Ngajele commissioner of inquiry set a quota. So when condemned, this is some of the ways is a flano nyami.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you.
So I think this is a good move. Corruption or dara ni tribal political nyanta bonda na kulko ni after Gambia boy, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, brother. Thank you for your contribution. Molbe call cake and ala baraka I'll continue call cake ni mobe diamula ni call cake nandoron nta receive la no but lafta video le play ala liye jang President Barrow diamuta diamoke about I interview me sotono so lafta o play la puru alfana yamoy because man much time soto sonka opportunity use ba sinyakilin in a week nka nyunu fenka bare lafta ba ombe nying issue min fo kan nendi role ni tribal issue ali la moy
lale fum nek ni
amna ne dal suma parti amna support nit ñi bëgg nañ parti bi ko nit ñi ngi liggéey fonna politique bu gën ci politique moy politique développement ñun na politique bobu lañ nekk di def di politique garuwale di politique saga du politique affaire yi xet ñun duñ def parti politique bobu façon politique bobu na dafa bari ci dikam di saga te ñepp xam
brother hold on
xam ne ñen ñoy saga
hold on yalla moy ñu video la hold on
ku wéri nak yow ya mom nga ñu ne wax nak
fu nekk ni
xam naa ne daal suma parti am na support nit ñi bëgg nañ parti bi ko nit ñi ngi liggéey fonna politique bu gën ci politique moy politique développement ñun na politique bobu lañ nekk di def di politique garuwale di politique saga du politique affaire yi xet ñun duñ def parti politique bobu façon politique bobu na dafa bari ci dikam di saga te ñepp xam ne ñen ñoy saga politique
moy ñan
no man dama wax kenn dama tur kenn man dama wér rek ku wéri nak yow ya mom nga ñu ne wax nak bu ndaw la soko baye rek ya ci yaayam lay dem ku ko jël nak nga xam ne ya ko mom
okay so President Barrow wala fo kan surwa kan wala ko dolle kan ndiro ke ay garu walele di so brother assalamu alaikum
yeah assalamu alaikum sister Nimba
okay mbe video le play kan num but you are still welcome ibirimintina mbe kachame mfenka kay koriba follow ka
mba kuol follow kan no momo ya la miral talefo dol ko tribalism dolbe about politic nendiro, you know, and so on. Yeah, but ntala side ni womu damit walam coming, mo fal min kake Gambia, deliberate mo fal, nte la miralo, nte la fenkoto dal, wol nte na jelo ko nyin government, wol mantol nyabo dal, bay han kabri ya jame bije, mol min ka mol fa, tilimbali akono, wol man ka komi ya jame ko wol fa. So, ntera jiberoto mansakunda nata ila government be tilimbari ya farola ntela jiberoto mansakunda jingama beteya.
Okay.
Yeah, so because ila police wote mo fanola wo police wote tara dokola ñun mem na mol tata ñun mem na mol fote la mol la wal nene la mol tinale ila fengoto ila family to kate so la police wal tara dokola you are comfortably you think you are a good government.
You still yana murun ko take 1 million you 1 million di wulula le kay ko dingola life nga wala compensate. That is just horrible. $1 million.
Wonene to compensate nola. So ntana jelo ko Barrow is never be my president,
Okay.
Because Barrow alamansa kunda kono minne na mankendela sate to wala ketaje.
Okay.
By niaji be mo sababe foto eniola very good personal loyalty mo kende balem. Ila family to mo kendol lem sate to mo kendol lem. Imam problem soto na classmate lom do famoti is my very good friend so wol fote ni olla next minute kese mambo jabato next minute ikana nyapi mol kam ike tilimbalia sorong nza fo ya jamme mi ngo min ka baro ya kele so ni min ka fo baro beti atele dolba faila ele dugana fere banko bo koleari ko bo koleari
Thank
every
you,
day cool mandra easy in Gambia,
all right, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. So
right. Yeah, appreciate. Oh my God. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
I sent the caller voicemail. Goodbye.
Telephone be dun tambula.
No, esa damfa very well. So now na bala jibola normal interest because political ate form interest let. So ala interest no maje but ate ala party beti andila ntol nyako to yeah ntoli ajelo ko ala party is a moderate party because ye mol fale.
Okay.
So another police don't like but ala government
okay
you don't care.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Ngani line do taya. Thank you. Yeah. Hello. Okay. Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Awanyadi.
Idunta binto bantaba network le mbe 2 minutes le di ka mobile fana e biri mintina.
Yo awanyadi du.
Mbija.
Eko korda suti kendoje. Abika garu waleke.
Ila nkam fam mo ila background to la tala pour isaje ko mol semo.
Ngo talale.
Abaraka, go ahead.
President Barrow garu wale diata e bakele. Okay, anim fulanjango. Bala falo miat nan to la Gambianol. Mbikam fango jaro non na banko kam fon kata Senegal. Wo mu bala faleti because ñin mol ko do min tinya woyen tolla loptano do kule. Ninna mol tata Senegal ibe jiala daming domoro abem problème ole. Ndaba sirinti wawdu. Bari binte nga bala fa min soto Gambia mo wo soto tubawdu. So loftale jamba nyami Gambia tarawo nyama afo baro ko ay do ku ke Gambia non la sindije. Nay do ku ke mobile ba kan la bara man iman tara do ku la wala mun tela ku umot. Bare because wato don kasile nka kamfa mbikalo nyaadi lon because kodo minka tinya wala siata minka do ku ke.
Gambia be nyanta fengo be sulata fengo be la bare mina mitala emergency ti nimbaro wol be la moy kansa ite amra mina nyanta dadala right
no mimu tele problème de alam baro Gambia no la sindije.
Brother, hold on. Ite min call kan hold on. Ngamuru nyindonka.
Press 2.
Okay.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail. Okay. I've sent the caller to voicemail.
Okay, I feel it.
Goodbye.
Yo. Alimbatu. Na bro. Hello?
Hello?
Yo, yare bijel. Mbulo edulala ma. Ama mandina hako bondi.
Hello?
Aha, afo diamunya na yeah. Mbulo le edulala.
Kon kamin fuetete. Baro nyol mantara doku wala.
Okay.
Doku mantara wala momo ko be doku wala doron ike fa wala nene. So nyonene mbolo bulala Gambia. Yena kumo moyle mbolo bulala Gambia. Baro doku na woke 2021 abasila je ba doku na mo woke Gambia no ta carte failae.
But yala neka doku memfo mbatu hold on ngala nyim video la ba malon fo se la moyna at the same time ba
no ngala baro lo moyla because baro ka fo miya e karamungol la silol doku Gambia no ma woje womu diam 15 ngolati.
Okay.
Womu diam 15 ngolati so diam 15 mbolo bulala.
Okay.
Nga doku nga balafa na molye min kumata fa jara nte min kente dimin na mol kata jara lo Senegal ika bata min soroje wo balafa waratale.
So ite lafta lopitano ye attention or di lopitano la right now.
Wolum problème oti.
Musol be wulu ke fa
na mo kata Senegal. Because Senegal be min gedan sa kenole. Min siyata oti. Jina mun okay, abarka bake.
All right, thank you, brother. Ngemoele. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, assalamu. Wa, anti Jamur banne kulo sa program.
I'm on the line, sis. Daughter.
Okay, you on the line.
Yes.
Wow, okay then. Okay, later.
All right, thank you. Mbari ngole call nang nkali ajale mbari atole munatole mbari ngole sotor. Brother dole ben call kang brother left aside yen try nang kotake ben call kan nan direct line I ben call kan nan several times ala number started 39 ne 39 ala last four number 61557. It's on call now because I would like to hear from you. Ni on call now at the same time Molly on call now touch kalano but you can call me. Alimbe mobe tilinyanna ning sign natol duntana njang I'll delete I'll be muruna all the way back. Aliene la moy nin Dr. Amadou Scattred Janneh kacha kumar mbale kijang. Nga kuja mala fojang. And nata line oliele. Ala tentu momo be calling ke kanyanjang. Ibe different topics le fo kan Gambia la lanjuro mint. Because nin Dr. Janneh kuja mala fanan kacha. So, left aliye la moy barola while nga call us all batula. I'll send call.
I'm not a national party, I'm not support. Nini bukan nañ parti because nit ñaa ngi liggéey fon na politique bu gën ci politique mooy politique développement ñun na politique boobu lañ nekk di def di politique gaaruwaale di politique saaga du politique affaire yi xeet ñun duñ def politique boobu façon politique boobu nag dafa bari ci dëkk bi.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Hello. Okay. We have to listen to Baro first, completely. Audio, video la moy follow.
Moy ñan? No man dama wax kenn. Dama wax tur kenn, man dama wér rek. Ku wéri nak yow yaa moom. Nga ñu ne wax nak bu ndaw la. Soo ko bàyyee rek yaa si yaayam lay dem. Ku ko jël nak nga xam ne yaa ko moom. Maa ko moom. Façon politique yow ñëpp xam ne ñan ñooy def façon politique boobu. waaye politique boobu di politique boo xam ne dafay yóbbu réew mi si kanam du politique yi progrès politique yooyu amul njëriñ te billahi maa la wax li mboolem kuy def politique boobu doo musa am réew bi ko yow da nga yàqal sa bopp bi ko yaa ngi intimider nit ñi loolu lañ bañoon intimidation ak xaras leen xatal leen nit ñi suñ la xamee loolu wallahi du mandarga bu baax te du mandarga nit ku baax ñun duñ def politique boobu politique progrès politique développement politique dialogue ñun politique.
Alimbala, I have to answer this brother. I've been trying all day. brother, ila line o tala, ila volume tala koma je, and assalamu alaikum.
Okay. Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, okay, ila volume tala je, iben try kan numba kala wala nanga barola video stop here. Aha, bismillah.
Sister Bindu.
Aha, bismillah.
Kuma iba kuma kamen foka kuma da bagal.
Okay.
President Baro Moma head, Kabin 2016 Kabla Findi da, Moza Subodomo Kin Oleba Jen Kanzai.
Okay.
So, what ended to go come and Bango Bita Ganyame, Amanda Takuka. And Femve, I don't go get a banco in Kendo, the Indian or the car, Joko, Yabanko, I ta Kendo, Kame, and go a bit enough for a bedun for a Samasini. So, come, Ekavoko come to win the by election on Yen, O Manana Kelaku, the mayor on Ganyente, because by election on Yaji, I could do for the Damarga.
Okay.
So, I know, Nina calculated, many around, because the fire, is like only 3,000 people.
Okay.
So, Omanya Natina, Foko, Koma, Fanene, Kaku, Nabanko, na Gambia beta,
Okay. So,
I mean, Tromla, I knew of an bitannual of an.
I didn't trumple and I told the bitannual.
It was a bit on 2021 in Nago view, is
okay, if I want to weed out, but y'all on the UDP, y'all on the I can't remember start already. UDP, APRC, PDOIS, GMC, GDC, Alinkara Nyone, Party Bay, opposition or Bay. Ning Gambian or Wultanga Tonya for Nyoe. Ikanyin crowd minjete. Crowd be carte fay.
That's right.
Andu ikana foko itala party abe tundi karle ate tundi kar. Because
that's right. Well I'm doing it.
Yo ni atol ko birikama. Let's say for example bawe ko ibe UDP. Let's say itabe jikirim birikama. Yes. Bare birikama mo opposition jelle fanam be jikirim birikama. Asiyata.
But Bindu Yana Benyame, come, you can understand, come and need that through the record. If I go UDP, Bilkama, I can the last election, they can get a Bilkamata. So, Nim Kodbo Yama, I can understand. Okay, signing, Balo after come another for the fund, say, Bilkama, yes, for some guy, I buy election or the Naji before we win a part of another power text. Power
Niko record lebe birikama UDP nte ali record nyadi le soto because nte ma record jeje jamela time alibuka karte be soto no jamela time and the coalition or mobile dent but sign alkana for birikama
yes, neither National Assembly election no ko ka understand Otundo Yinkan, you can't UP win the Jenita to local government for Andola win the Jeno, Silver Song Gondola Tombo. So, Ibajelo go come and balo nada for la Fanakuma Joko, Eka Sate, Tunato Assemble Babu. Silver Song go resign that by election on the Bilgama, Assemble text.
Barakana Nina Fananko, Deputy Tombo Wato, and Silver Song Tombo Wato, Alnimbaro Beleak.
Nimbalo be like Balo, Nina Daji Balo, account at the UDP called them to the AJ because the other Takola, Yalon Cook, Sour Wall Catala,
Munana UDP the wrong tentula.
Because ni UDP that Atakela president, thanks to UDP, what they are saying, Yakela flag reality,
Okay.
So after through that, another coalition, another coalition after coalition in Nakatonga, Kenyaton, they count as ni UDP Yama Yango. Nini Mama Kande Kalte Fogel, Mama Kande Abu de Kende Gafon.
I know what I'm on Patiso, Kala Pati man fancy.
Yo, so ungo dan tonya so anyanda anyanda UDP ngol tendu ay jay because sabab sababu mu UDP le. So ni ajibe ko ku nyaje sababu ke talala tonya ante adam bolo ma konde bale kuma akabanko samba nyama no ko
bare ikar birkama fanan kana nyina Dr. Sise botana birkama. So funding kel fanan nyabe tarate fanan kan. So nyin ko be nyamen dal ni sa carte so no dawda eta sunyana nje fonte
ha ngo do andu yode ke data nyamina la by election on ye kaldo e ko e fonne ka ko me ye kaldo osan ne ye ko do bonde ka kaldo osan
aha bare o fana ni ajibe luwati je min ko mo nyanta police la ni ko do bondi ni ko do ni nyum ni fendi nyunula
bal ni ajibe ko do fana ni ajibe ka understand adam bolo ko amina government banku wa bola so ko do nya ka me use aw bonni min do the phone we I phone nya bonni min do
bare yalla no ntolo fana ma evidence ton ko ay ko do le di mol
no but e kan ko ba do le phone ka ko ma ko nyin dina e ka ko na e kan na ko na mi na fana make
yo wata atolo fana nyanta wulala patilbe al wulale phone racing ke ali alla ko dindingol topato ko dindingol topato brother wa felengi thank you for your contribution abaraka yam
okay na last word to all UDP supporters come e ka understand na ko nyabe nyamen sai e ka kuma namuta nyamen de so jifofte je adam balo is just come fengo ado kindilo ke da nyado nyinda da kuna se kindilo kamen
okay
asemen ke do come ndiamo so mbe kondo na baga bindu mbe
brother ni be UDP ni nata janka hard time di Allah because I left na man sakunda atole left kelen president content fonte
yes no well and we are ready we are ready for the challenge so if you got any question post any UDP member you can understand be answer correctly so I can problem we are not afraid of any question
ndefana mbali ya mara alpa bi nyima ko atol min be diaspora al kafunyo kan ali fundraising start
non dol ben na ko ya UDP mun ka bozi me alon ko e ka understand kuma be plano men ke ga ni man da je dal but we tell the UDP ndol ya no me men ke ga
good
so ya je ko Ibrahim Sano was de be dia mun kan kata
yo thank you obeteata all right thank you nge appreciate le alimbe sai nte call tala alimba tunga barola video la moy
politique bo moy tax bi election bu ñew 2021
alimba tun kana call ta modol ma ñim video moy alimba
am nga parti boy
amanjam
dama turke man dama wër rek ku wëri nak yow ya mom nga ñu ne wax nak bu ndaw la soko baye rek ya ci yaayam lay dem ku ko jël nak nga xam ne yaa ko moom maa ko moom façon politique yow ñëpp xam ne ñan ñooy def façon politique boobu waaye politique boobu di politique boo xam ne dafay yóbbu réew mi si kanam du politique yi progrès politique yooyu amul njëriñ te billahi maa la wax li mboolem kuy def politique boobu doo musa am réew bi ko yow da nga yàqal sa bopp bi ko yaa ngi intimider nit ñi loolu lañ bañoon intimidation ak xaras leen xatal leen nit ñi suñ la xamee loolu wallahi du mandarga bu baax te du mandarga nit ku baax ñun duñ def politique boobu politique progrès politique développement politique dialogue ñun politique boobu la ñoo def kon because of ñun politique boobu la ñoo def gom nañ ne politique boobu moo ñoo dimbale te politique boobu mooy tax dañu win élection bu ñëw 2021
ndax am nga parti boy seetee benn bot fii ci biir réew mi parti boo xamante ne nii daal yóbbu na sa fit daal si mbooloo wala doole
man ragaluma kenn man ragaluma kenn laa ragalu si parti ragaluma kenn dama gom suma bopp lu tax ma gom suma bopp liggéey bu ma def loolu tax ma gom suma bopp te li Gambien si loolu lañ bëgga man suma affaire yi foofu laa ko weer de ragaluma kenn bu ma def 2016 moo gën a jafe bi moo gën a jafe waaye benn affaire rek laa mu seet mooy liggéey bu ma def wala suñu ma fee liggéey boobu kenn du ma jegeñ sax si 50 years 800 kilometers of road loolu lañ def Gambia fi man si 5 years maa ngi def 600 electricity expansion bu ma def fii schools build na over 3,000 classrooms si 5 years miracle la ñeneen saa dañ foog ne damay luxu xaalis si dëkk boo xam ne amul resources nga am sa économie nga nekk 5 months import ko very stable nga yokk salaire 50% ku doon am téeméer nga jox ko ñaari téeméer loolu yëpp ma def ko fii si réew mi fii loolu tax ma ne kenn waruta saanil mee bi kenn waruta support mee bi yaa ngi koo gis firnde la kenn mënu ko tey media bi tey freeness independent bu ngeen am environment bi it's very conducive musutu na am fii kenn xalaatu na dafay am fii te ñun politique dialogue la ñoo def ñun duñ def politique saaga de sooy saaga rek nit ñi dañ laa ragal sooy xeex nit ñi dañ laa ragal ñun duñ def loolu yëpp civilized politics
Your Excellency soo doon xayma soo doon rate sa liggéey depuis boo ñëwee into power bi léegi naka nga ko rate sa développement si ak liggéey foo tollu léegi
well liggéey bi man sax foog naa ne am na liggéey yu ma def fooguma woon dinaa ko doon mën a def because lu xew mooy amul benn government bu musa toog si Gambia bi fii liggéey 200 kilometers of road bu nga xam ne dafay jógee si keesi nguur gi ci boppam locally funded Banjul is locally funded Banjul project bi yëpp xaalisi Gambia la fii Hakaland Road locally funded project la Kawru Jimbala fu ñoo ñëw def si ni 86 kilometers locally funded la xaalis boobu yëpp Gambia fii lañ ko jëlee nekku ne partner si la yoon boo fi gis su mu dee 50 kilometers du Gambia boo ko defal am na international funding so am na yu ma def yu nga xam ne man fooguma woon dinaa ko doon mën a def waaye yàlla moom ma jàppale te tam liggéey nañ tam pour éliminer corruption te ñu ngi manage suñu économie bu baax a baax a baax a baax financial discipline loolu moo am su loolu doon mën a am réew mi dox na 50 years musta am demal seen record doo gis benn yoon boo xam ne those kilometers locally funded ñun ñu ngi def loolu kon ñun dañ xool suñu bopp.
ok Your Excellency ñu dem tamit si business bi xam naa waxtu bi mu ngi ñoo xala xoj waaye bëgg naa tamit xam
yo so everybody you hear what Alba Moika Adam Barobe Mimfokang in Wolof nta translate la no because we do not have much time and Mbemobe appreciate la have just a little bit time. I can take 2 more calls. Alimbatu 2 more calls. Then I'm gonna SR call. I wrap up because it's only winter, so I have to be fair with the game, you know. And Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum salam, Bintu.
Yes, you are welcome. Ibiri mintina.
Ularo benyadi.
Ularo bija. Beline, Bintu Bantaba Network.
Mbela program wala moy kanu since in Dr. Janneh diamu kanu.
Okay.
Beginning from this land reform to this mining going on and this golden league. Because truly I'm against this environmental destruction that is going on in our beaches.
Okay.
This golden league is not good in Gambia at all.
Okay.
But the fact that some people are benefiting from it because they create some kind of job for some youths, people are working for them, and they are gaining their livelihood in it. But the problem is destruction of the main cake and whatever and that is affecting the economy and it's going to affect not only us but the future generation to come.
Okay. Okay.
So I think the government should look deep into that.
Okay.
Because if they decided to turn their face the other way around, it's like a selfish. And we have ourselves to blame because the future generation will point fingers at us.
Okay.
So I think Doc was right. Despite the fact what they did was illegal, because they should have gone through the courts.
Yes. Doctor was saying that the government, you said the courts, but the government have signed all those, give them the license to do that.
Doesn't matter. Government can give license, but at the end of the day, who is the government?
So who's supposed to go to court?
The citizens, like the individuals, like the villagers, those living around. We cannot even leave it to only one village, because this is not about a village matter. This is a national issue.
Okay. All right.
So
thank you, brother.
We shouldn't sit and like ngafuko farabala problem farabada mala problem walti. Well, like these people's problem is only their problem. No, it's everybody's problem. Gambia is like a monkey. If you touch the tail, the head will feel the pain. So
to be honest though, Gambia no mbuka nyomakwe when people are on fire, because out of experience, I'm gonna tell you that. Ndem farabad dingolet. Ndol wuru ntale we knocked at every door. Ndagada on Facebook at that moment. 3 weeks I was going to Facebook every day. Mol bukanda link off and share, because what I'm talking about, they were just out of it. You know.
Bitu, I know. I'm a Gambian. I'm not a monkey man because never survived. You know, but in Gambia, who was talking about this tribalism issue. When I went to Gambia B, Asurwa lembang, Mandinko lembang, Ajola lembang, Afluo lembang, Manjako lembang. We are all one. Because now you fututa ntolda malaka nyo futu, ntolda malaka nyo dingol kulu, ntolda malaka. In fact, if one of us died, you find every tribe in the funeral. You know, all of us in the Gambia is very small. Because if you go to like in a local level, in control Gambian, we are peaceful. We are one.
Okay. So
but the division come at the political level.
Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you. But mimudorong ntol Gambia we are small. Ni moli la sula nyafo. We should stand with those communities.
Exactly. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to say. We should not isolate. We should not isolate a particular village.
Yes. So
like
we might learn.
Is fighting. For example, what happened in Fraba, it was the duty of each and every Gambian to stand up and raise their voice. Did you consult the people of Fraba? Did the people of Fraba agree for you to harvest their land? Because that's harvesting. Because they're harvesting sand. Remember? So
another thing be interrupt la, another thing community fana nyanta agree la. Itolle nyanta den na kuala bar dol ka tara other side dol fana se tara bar faraba o manke je tol bele den ta kankelingola. So
Faraba is just an example, but it can happen. It's happening in other parts of the country.
Thank you.
So Banjul called Safon and control Makutije control Banjul called. But at the end of the day, if Faraba feel pain, Banjul will feel the same pain.
Thank you.
So Banjul cannot. If Faraba is warning, Banjul cannot sleep.
Thank you.
Stoma cannot sleep. Farafenya will not sleep. Basse will not sleep. So if Banjul control Gambia, we are one people. We have to stand our voice. We have to come together to be one people, to know that we have to build that country, not for ourselves, but for the future generation to come.
Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Come on, can you mean for thing is very true. Being more. Yes, thank you, brother. Thank you. Mbe hang up lambela and do talayam. I appreciate it. Brother, hold on. I can you mean for thing. Me and sort of farabani ntako we were screaming, nobody answered. Because mone na ma jelenum, mone na ma sifaje, mone na ma sifamwe. But a bit happened Gambia no nata lon fele. A diaspora nteng, a banko konanteng, mobe bortaje, a sango keta mobe la kumbolet. Na furele min badeta, mobe le kumbo. Be mobe tentula, Gambia kono, Gambia bantala, farabankol bal tentule bal jayila, aliye duwale minike aliye continue duwala na funding keli ba on tol nga experience mbe nyaaju ku fet ala nga make sure na community ndamal nga ke kanklent ni mi mbete ata alla sate ni mi mambete alla sate atolier deng aliya ko jibe funding kel al nana on the front line aliya alla sate control pour al dingol kamal mamaringol kamma so aliya be ko hormone mbuñati alkana ke fitinote ne man fen solve aka tiñaro leke fitino ne man fen solve aka tiñaro leke indefinite tiñaro mi yaron ko alba regret la but not the mal sita ali abe bula nyokon ali kaitol samba mansaya ali bundal konkon hopefully me and sort of faraba abe dulado tankala ando mbadu wala ala o mari mansatalla afele santa ben jiber ala o mari musudo kana dingo sare nyin kusifa so program on 10 more minutes so tombe mbe one more call tala then mbina esa kumandela then ngana rapo yes ala baraka for your attention alin share alin like alin share al page or follow nda mata kelano ninna timo da mata kelano I can do it with you brother I'm sorry la line obe difficulties soto kan no andu mo dole fana me line to lefte murun nam back
exactly wala bije kay
go ahead
yeah wala bije mbami fokan coming Niamina la by election of minkarate and then nin Ker-Jarga-Ward la council election of minkarate nga nyende ka Gambian ole I open
okay
because Niajibe science thing NPP ye platform will create the sign then near Atarako they spend like let's say near Atarako they spend $5 along course sign then NPP will double up then Gambian will sign nyandaka will nga jeroke kajeko NPP la man sakunda nying akana low
okay
because ndolbe more nila on opinion non ndala opinion mu minti ndanga ko NPP la kunda right now ten nalota among Gambian febo
okay
because Niajibe inflation on me along about the prices and in call me along ko beba stock ring funding kel bijele mi ko patari and then MPP mantara wo funding kel empower ka
okay
but what they believe in focus ka minto wala mo focus wala mo minti ka jeko it will about 2021 sotla no nyame pour que la presidential candidate ni ka maintain to state house
okay
then ngamera sign then politicians million ko eba Gambia e be nya jele minketa then nin time o waste along ko den sign politician ol defend fail and then politician min baby jam fanante ngalon ko be preparation ko because this 2021 elections ning ata easy la about tofla bakel
okay about tofla
bakele
okay
because imagine yaje ko NPP ka lo e ka also fengol leke so kalero la ka musolta ke mobilize ka fe ko alla fonko fere alla ka fo ni ngal so kalero la ngal so sunkala ngalla then what do you think niko presidential election nara nang e ba fendi la min sera wodi and then incumbent is always powerful
okay
ndebuka mbukela ko ni jindi back
so
because it will fengo de mela lan ko
hello brother so ite amra opposition or little nyanta minekela
right now then opposition because near GB opposition nyanda kaminga wala nga thorough investigations ke and sensitization and nga dialogue ke towards all the regions
okay
kajeko because wodrona sa bondino kan but dialogue la kala open dialogue ka mol enlight mimba caring because science mol ngala na Gambia la problem ol be mo bindi den ning oppositional man dialogue ke man sensitization ke ning oppositional brother dawda rek along ko NPP na rajede is always worst.
So what about it amira it about for kind of like individual sensitization but for coalition form?
Yeah, because ngalan science nyimbi kaka nyamenteng I don't know what will be but nara ko as a the only coalition form that whereby kajibe kanyembonda la ka NPP mansakunda bondi Gambia government. It's only the coalition because ngaminje I have learned a lot. Niajibe from a day before the elections until mba ni mol bijele mba mol call kan million ko always it will be jele and then ye keep presiding officers leti nge call but ye mintandina a day before program ku jamal lekija million ko you cannot even imagine from house to house campaign kedal and then don't find the control be and the political fungal tara dia ngo be tara nara aka minti a day before election campaign o man kuma back but a day before election oh sister woka du bakele
ha mba fo kan nunjang mba fo kan nunjang broda e aka fo ko yo kodole spend je nka fa fo du wo illegal taliban but dole message kinya na konye yes sister wo illegal talent samari say prosecute no but ite mina mira o court
illegal tale because min bije is a state phone column state la phone num
okay
kabirin NPP man baro binala has a coalition sang a lot has a NPP anin ko di manna
okay
say na hana fang enrich nyaaw lon ko aba fang enrich state form lal
okay
it's illegal
okay
because nyajibe it's illegal it's very illegal because nyajibe baro binala wato min amon ko do soto we all know where he started.
Brother, but I left a kudo le fola mbe mutala line out even though la time bantal left mutala line out one more time. Yalo nentol we grow up in the village.
Yes.
Village Santoto. It's a tarano combo fang. It does not matter. But ni election o minka da nyamenteng aketa Santolt. But je difficult ni to ko moyo ko man boto some 1,000 let's say 1,300 1,400 anala dimbayal. And yamurun nang kotake ka wanyanta wasan na nyanta la dimbal topoto muso dolu bije wolu ikele bantale so every day wol dolu fa niaje bi mo jama be bade la wol high blood pressure sama be mine dile la dimbayal be mine kele la dimbayal so nim mo nata around manta mbenyi min fokam albe be la moy kam mantara ku encourage kam mi alon kam ambete get me right mbem fanne bulakan to that woman's shoe mi yalon ko aketije dimbayal babulu sama dañi no abe min dilala dimbayal la man suto sino ni monata aka ko ite 5,000 o fele tamani boto fulasan na yela carte ke so din ite amra o mari be balanna o wala dan ko la e ni jino for that month ite amra o be balanna wala
ata balanna no corruption never play kan
okay
it's a corruption and bribery level play kan and then the most scenarios from Kenya how they use phone okay imagine la ko nitol dara constituency minto wala dara regional minto yaje ko mo jele mi alan ko is a influential person mol ke dankala and o tundo to yalon ko ni nangam ka nin ko do nangam kar diala o ko do nyin atefana ba lonnale mo jumani je miyanon ko they are badly in need of money or even not money but a kind ko strategy le use inu ko do le kata o marilia comme yemin for them all je million ko
they really manual
fata they really need help and then mansakunda mantre je kan say mansakunda kaje ko sa platform sa me use no only this let them just pump a little
yes so antebe bim fola dorom
wala political
so antebe nyinin kala min ete amira sai bawo wala be kerin te mo arrest lano evidence mbulunte mo arrest lano o hani yake what can we do hani ngaje nyala what can we do so ete mo advice le dila fenkol la opposition on la sai
my advice mean the opposition or wala ko let us all be vigilant ngaje ko corruptions mi alon ko ababanko tinya kan anim bribery because these are the two things mi alon ka katanyola yemo corruption o kerek alon ko ba bribery kala then sign and about min for opposition or alon ko sign let us all be vigilant kaje ko system all million ko akata dubious systems million ko abita on the ground beken fang ala own surveillance team nga ko nyimbay and then nga fenje momo ka let them take actions whereby kaje ko let I prevail.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I have one more call. I will then I'll wrap up. I love y'all. Alina Kachanyan share. Next Sunday, do not miss. 1 o'clock. Gambia time is 6 o'clock.